My neighbor isn't alive. Chinese homebuyers find ashes houses in purchased properties. CCP officials, young police officers die en masse from illness. Apocalyptic scenes in China make U.S. businesses eager to avoid. One of the Big Four accused of inflating Evergrande's income by $77 billion. It's all covered in today's China Truths. My neighbor isn't alive. Chinese homebuyers find ashes houses in purchased properties. A new housing trend has surfaced in mainland China due to rising funeral expenses. According to the paper, there is a growing trend in China of buying homes exclusively for storing ashes, primarily by residents of larger cities grappling with high cemetery costs and other related issues. These ashes houses are often in outlying areas with cheaper prices. In some communities, the deceased in ashes houses might outnumber the living. Online comments reflect various attitudes. A Zhejiang user appreciates the quiet neighbors and joked that 4 people upstairs, 6 downstairs, and 8 next door. I'm the only one still breathing. But some expressed their fear, saying that imagine a lovely community where 80% of the units are ashes houses. It's eerily quiet at night. Just thinking about it sends shivers down my spine. According to a report by the Legal Daily, Mr. Zhao, a resident of a community in Nantong, Jiangsu, recalled that he saw in his opposite apartment 2 candlesticks, a black box, and a black and white portrait, confirming his suspicions that his neighbor was not a living person. The realization that the apartment across from his was being used as an ashes houses left Mr. Zhao felt both disturbed and frightened, wondering what he should do about the situation. In another instance, an air conditioner installation worker in Binhai area, Tianjin, received a job order that left him shaken. Upon entering the customer's apartment, he noticed an urn and various offerings arranged on a table in the living room, resembling a mourning hall. He said, "I was so startled that I shuddered and instinctively pulled back my foot that had already stepped inside." The customer, sensing his unease, immediately doubled the installation fee on the spot, prompting him to reluctantly complete the job. In recent years, the presence of ashes houses in residential communities across China has come to light. Some buildings even have multiple ashes houses, or entire floors dedicated to housing urns. An insider from the real estate industry in Jiangsu revealed that when certain properties were put up for sale, they attracted a group of buyers from nearby large cities, many of whom purchased the apartments with the intention of using them as ashes houses. Some netizens from Fujian and Jiangsu recall it happening over a decade ago, with people from Shanghai buying urn storage space in nearby cities. In Anhui, a significant portion of a residential complex caters to this use. Cemetery prices in China have skyrocketed dramatically, can no longer afford to live or die. According to a report from Radio Free Asia, cemetery plot prices in China continue to rise sharply. In Beijing, the average cemetery plot now costs hundreds of thousands of yuan, with some plots priced over $1,000,000, over $138,000. This has forced many Beijingers to look outside the city for more affordable land to bury their loved ones. Even plots an hour outside the city limit are over $30,000. One Beijing resident described her frustration that both housing and a final resting place are out of the budget. Last year her family managed to find land in the Huairou forests for around 10,000 yuan, around $1,382 per square meter, but it was still a long hike to reach the remote site. She said, "Now if you want a plot in a public cemetery, it's expensive. We can no longer afford to live or die." According to a major funeral home director, prices in metro areas like Beijing and Shanghai regularly top 100,000 yuan, around $13,820 per plot, more expensive than residential real estate on a per square foot basis. Elite cemeteries within the city can list plots for around 1 million yuan, over $138,000. The report noted that land has long been a primary source of financial gain for local governments in China, and high land prices not only drive up housing costs but have also fueled the funeral industry. Wang Ping, a Beijing artist whose ancestral home was demolished, said local governments make money by selling land, so rising cemetery costs are normal. Because cemeteries are also a source of income from real estate. China's economy lacks innovation, it only relies on selling land or property to increase GDP. CCP officials, young police officers die en masse from illness. The COVID situation in mainland China has remained persistent. In under 2 months into 2024, there has been a continuous loss of young police officers, alongside a notable number of deaths among Chinese Communist Party officials. In detail, according to recent posts from the Weibo account Golden Shield Monument, which has ties to the CCP police force, within just 52 days into 2024, there have been 12 sudden deaths among young police officers, mostly due to unexpected illnesses, leading to ineffective rescue attempts. The youngest victim was only 30 years old, while the oldest was 59. Furthermore, as per reports from various mainland media sources, during the period from February 18 to March 28, 2024, a span of 40 days, at least 13 CCP officials, all of whom were CCP members, passed away due to illness, based on incomplete data. Since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2019, mainland China has been accused by the public of tightly controlling information flow, often disguising the virus under different guises such as mycoplasma, influenza, and currently, pertussis. However, the general belief among the public is that these are all manifestations of the new coronavirus. Over the past 4 years of the pandemic, numerous deaths due to infection and sudden deaths have occurred among the population. Yet, due to the CCP's persistent concealment, the actual death toll remains a mystery. Recently, Beijing authorities have acknowledged the ongoing spread of the new coronavirus, with the predominant circulating variant being the Omicron variant JN.1. Earlier in the year, the WHO had issued a warning about a disease X that is purportedly 20 times deadlier than COVID-19. On March 9, Chinese officials admitted that the occurrence of X disease is difficult to avoid. Many netizens have voiced concerns, stating that the outbreak has already begun, evidenced by widespread coughing and resulting deaths. However, with no official confirmation, there is widespread doubt regarding the CCP's transparency regarding the true extent of the epidemic. Apocalyptic scenes in China make U.S. businesses eager to avoid. Apart from the strategic rivalry between the U.S. and China, American businesses are refraining from investing in China due to the doomsday scenario in China. These insights come from Yan Chuango, an author and scholar at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Now, let's delve into his insightful analysis. The brewing military tensions in China's surrounding areas, including conflicts in the Taiwan Strait and South China Sea with the Philippines, raise concerns. The U.S.-Philippines Defense Treaty could draw the U.S. into a conflict with China. The unpredictable nature of North Korea adds further complexity, potentially involving Japan, North Korea, and South Korea, polarizing the U.S. and China. For American investors, the decision not to invest in or withdraw from China is crucial due to the risks involved. China investments demand significant resources, and sudden conflicts could jeopardize returns. Exiting isn't easy and could mean relinquishing businesses to the Chinese government. Businessmen must assess risks wisely amid uncertain times. Considering the potential for war, it's natural for American businesses to adopt a wait-and-see attitude towards investing in China. It's a rational choice to remove China from their investment plans rather than risk getting caught in a dangerous situation. Moreover, China's current economic situation is bleak, with social and political tensions, economic disarray, and political turmoil becoming the norm. In such an environment, what business prospects can thrive? It's widely known that mainland China is facing prolonged deflation, affecting businesses negatively. It's exceptionally challenging for outsiders to succeed in a country where uncertainties loom large. Foreign investment is not just about money, it's about expecting significant returns. With China's economic outlook worsening, it's not an opportune time for investments. Businesses would rather earn less than risk significant losses. It's an instinctive move. After 4 decades of reform, foreign businesses understand the Chinese Communist Party's true nature. They are useful when needed but discarded when not. Offering minor benefits today may lead to nationalization under various pretexts tomorrow. In essence, what's mine is mine, and what's yours is also mine. Taking over private property doesn't require justification. Without legal protection in a market-driven economy, foreign businesses lack security. Given this reality, why would they willingly walk into a trap? Foreign investors are attracted to China primarily for cheaper supply chains and access to a vast market. However, with supply chains becoming unreliable and the U.S. actively safeguarding high-tech sectors, moving investments away from China benefits regions like Southeast Asia, India, and Mexico. These regions have predominantly private economies, improving legal frameworks, cost-effective labor, rapid infrastructure development, and efficient product transportation. From every perspective, relocating to Southeast Asia, India, or Mexico is beneficial without significant downsides. Given these factors, why choose difficulty over ease? The supply chain is hopeless, and the only attraction left is the consumer market, but today's China is losing its drive, and the circular economy is becoming the norm. Unemployment is high, income is decreasing, and the middle class is shrinking. The situation is unlikely to improve in the next 10 years, and the prospects for the Chinese consumer market are grim. The idea that foreign businesses will come to save the day is a pipe dream. Adding to the challenge, domestic Chinese companies are struggling to survive, and the competition from foreign businesses is intense. The recent Attracting Foreign Investment Action Plan released by the government includes a lot of minor measures, but they are just cosmetic changes. In reality, the plan does not address the root problems. From a national strategic perspective, American businesses will not help the Communist Party get out of its predicament. From a business operations perspective, American businesses will not take risks in China. Xi Jinping's repeated calls for cooperation are just empty words, and the root of the problem is that the Communist Party's management of everything cannot be changed. The party's control over everything is too strong, and the recent lifting of some restrictions is just a facade. The reality is that foreign businesses will not come to China, and the situation is hopeless. This year's BOA Forum for Asia has come and gone, and the cold reception it received reflects the current state of the world. Democratic countries are thriving, while authoritarian countries are in chaos. The recent unrest in Hong Kong is a sign of the political crisis facing the region. The Communist Party's days are numbered, and the world is watching with bated breath. If Xi Jinping suddenly had a nervous breakdown and announced the abolition of all exclusionary laws, the re-establishment of a market economy, the protection of private property, the disclosure of officials' assets, the lifting of the ban on the free press, and the implementation of complete westernization, would American businesses come to China? Author Yan Chuango said that he doesn't think so, because by that point, China would have descended into chaos. American businesses wouldn't want to come to a country in such a state of turmoil. Therefore, Xi Jinping's hope that American businesses will come to save the day is just a pipe dream. He's all talk and no action. One of the Big Four accused of inflating Evergrande's income by $77 billion. Amid the Evergrande scandal, which reported overstating its income by 214 billion yuan, around $30 billion, in 2019 and 350 billion yuan, around $48.6 billion, in 2020 and then raised funds in the financial markets based on falsified data, according to an announcement from the China Securities Regulatory Commission, CSRC, on March 19, PwC, the auditor of Evergrande and one of the Big Four firms, has now come under scrutiny. Furthermore, the CSRC stated that Evergrande also exaggerated its profits by a total of 91.9 billion yuan, about $12 billion, equivalent to more than 3/4 of its reported income from 2019 to 2020. This amount is roughly 20 times the inflated profit of the Enron scandal in 2001, which ultimately led to the revocation of the license of its auditing firm, Arthur Andersen. Commenting on this issue, Mr. Joshua Ronan, an accounting professor at New York University's Stern School of Business, believes that it is strange that PwC did not issue a going concern qualification in the face of Evergrande's huge debt. The going concern qualification he mentioned is a statement made by auditors indicating significant doubt about a company's ability to continue operating in the foreseeable future, usually the next 12 months from the date of the statement. In October 2021, the Accounting and Financial Reporting Council in Hong Kong launched an inquiry into the Evergrande Group's financial statements for 2020 and its interim financial statements for 2021, as well as the audit by PwC for 2020. The council stated in its bulletin that PwC issued a clean opinion in the audit report for the year 2020 without mentioning any significant uncertainties in Evergrande's operations. Based on this, the council questioned whether Evergrande's accounts complied with applicable financial reporting standards and whether PwC complied with auditing standards. On March 22, Chinese authorities accused the Evergrande Group of defrauding $78 billion and are reviewing the role PwC played in it. Regarding the successive malpractice of the Big Four's Chinese branches, Mr. Ronan believes that PwC's U.S. headquarters should exercise more supervision over its Chinese branches. He said, the PwC in the United States should have a command and control system to be vigilant and have enough quality control over the operations of its affiliates in China and Hong Kong. Obviously, there must have been a major failure here on the part of the headquarters of PwC in the United States. Big Four's China branches succumbed to Beijing's orders. What greatly damages the Big Four's reputation is their Chinese branch's submission to the Chinese Communist Party and, in that, refusal to submit audit work papers to the SEC. According to the Sarbanes-Oxley Act passed by the U.S. Congress in 2002, any company that issues public securities in the United States must be subject to inspection by the PCAB. However, Beijing ignores this requirement and obstructs the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board's inspections of Chinese companies, while the Big Four's China branches refuse to submit audit work papers of Chinese companies to the SEC, citing concerns about violating Chinese laws. Mr. Ronan believes that Beijing's prohibition of the Big Four from submitting audit work papers to the PCAB may facilitate fraudulent behavior by Chinese companies and corruption by the Big Four. In February 2015, the SEC sanctioned the Big Four's China branches for refusing to submit documents related to investigations of potential fraud. In 2020, the United States forcefully introduced the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act, which stipulates that if a company is on the identified delisting list for 3 consecutive years, it will formally enter the delisting process after the 3rd year. Subsequently, the SEC announced waves of pre-delisting and confirmed delisting lists of Chinese stocks, including Bilibili, ZTO Express, JD.com, Pinduoduo, Tencent Music, and Trip. Under the strong pressure from the United States, Beijing and the Big Four's China branches finally capitulated. On December 15, 2022, the PCAB announced that for the first time, the Chinese authorities had allowed accounting firms to conduct comprehensive inspections and investigations that meet U.S. standards as required by the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. Let us know your thoughts on today's topic by leaving a comment below. If you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend. It inspires us to continue creating more quality and reliable content. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more interesting insights from China Truths. Thanks for tuning in.